Hey folks, welcome to Bear Mountain. Well, this week, it's been a couple weeks. We took a 4th of July weekend off, but today we're just working on some chores. So this one's just going to be kind of a bit of hit and miss. A couple of things that we're working on is it's onion harvesting time. Thought I'd show you guys a little bit about, how we decide when it's time to start harvesting the onions and what they look like and how we prep them. And then also too, we're in the process, we're going to start up another batch of JADAM microorganism solution, the ferment that we use to help with the soil biology. And we're using it pretty routinely now in the tunnel with the mums and the dahlias. And even though we talked about the dahlias having virus, I still haven't got to the point where I've ripped them out yet. I've gotten some blossoms off them. They're a little smaller than, I probably should want. But I'm kind of just seeing if the JMS can maybe keep the plant to a little more health-wise. And maybe I'll get some more blooms out of it before I finally just have to, call on it. So we'll go over and take a look at that too. And I'll show you how we put start the JADAM microorganism solution up. I know a lot of people have done it. It's really an easy thing to do. But this time of year, it looks like our temperatures are going to be in the 80s during the day. Low to mid 50s at night. And so that's going to give us probably, well, today is, we're filming this today. It's Thursday night. We're going to be putting this stuff together. So it'll probably be ready either Saturday night or maybe Saturday morning. We'll see how it goes. Usually it takes about 40 to 48 hours with this kind of temperature to get a good batch. So anyway, let's take a look at the onions, and then we'll go over and start up the JMS. All right, so our first group here, these are our red onions, and the variety is called Cabernet. And when I pull them out of the ground, I kind of wait for the stalks to already start to do kind of a fall over. And I can show you as an example of what's happening over here. These are our shallots, and what you notice is that the tops themselves, they're just starting to lean over and fall over. And that usually is the sign that it's not going to bulb anymore and it's not going to grow anymore. It just kind of wants to go dormant. So what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll just take a rake, like a regular garden bow rake, and I'll just push the tops down and leave that way for about a day or so. And then, I'll come in and I'll pull out the onions like I did over here. These guys I pulled out 2 days ago, and I've left them kind of stacked up. I'm a little disappointed in my reds this year. I have quite a few what I'd say would be I'd classify as undersized, although we can still use them like in just regular cooking. Just cut the ends and the tops off and maybe slice them up into chunks and throw them into a stew or something. So they're still usable. But then we got quite a few that are nice size. And one of the things that happened here, and it's Cabernet, I've noticed has a problem with this, is I've got like a side that I think got burned by, it was fairly hot 2 days ago. And the sun was just too hot for the side of the onion. And that was a mistake on my part. I should have put something over the top of these guys to keep them from, getting scalded. So anyone that I have like this, you can feel it when you pick it up. You go, oh man, it's like firm on one side, but then you put your thumb on it and you can feel it. It feels like, okay, there's a layer of onion there that it's got cooked, it got dehydrated. That's going to really cut back on the storage life. And I did have a problem with these guys a couple of years ago. So like this one's perfect. It's nice and solid. It's good size, 2 to 3 inch. So, and what I'm waiting for before I clip the tops off and take them, to kind of a final place to kind of cure out, is I'm waiting for the tops to turn a little more. This is pretty soft though. It's getting pretty close, and waiting for these guys, the roots at the bottom, to basically dry out. So I got usually no more than about 4 days at this stage with the temperatures the way they're going. And then we'll move them to an area, that's kind of for a final drying before storage. And we'll do a quick check to see, how they dried out. So we raised all these guys from seed. We planted them right around the 20th of January. So I was a little late this year on them. That may have been an impact, may have impacted maybe why I got, smaller onions on some of these guys. But I think I'm going to switch back to the variety I had last year. I tried a different variety, and it was a different type of onion, and it was a little more stronger flavored. But it stored really well, and it was very consistent in terms of size. So I liked that a lot. Now these onions over here that we're starting to look at, these guys are a little bit later, so they've just begun to start to fall down a little bit. Over here, if you kind of, as we go over here, we can kind of see we've had some of the stalks fall down. I've got kind of a similar thing. I've got a number of the onions that look like they're going to be a little undersized, but then I got some that are actually looking pretty good. What I'm going for is that 2 to 3 inch type size. I don't need the super big guys, and that's kind of what I'm kind of hoping to get out of this. This variety was Patterson, I believe, and it's stored very well for us. It did a very good job. So I'm going to probably keep with these guys. And again, these also too were planted right around that same time period. I seeded all the onions at once, the onions and the shallots. And if you look over here, you can see my very sickly late season tomato plants. I was really late in getting these guys in this year because I had peas in here longer than I probably should have. So they were kind of growing on in a kind of a bit of a constrained environment, but a lot of the lower leaves look a little bit yellow, but the tops are growing. And within a week or two, these guys have only been in the ground now for about 7 days. So probably within 2 weeks, you're not even going to notice they're going to be so vigorous. They've already changed a lot just in the last couple of days. I'm using the liquid fertilizer on them to kind of get them, jump started. There's 26 plants in here, so I'm not too worried about not having tomatoes. And it seems like for us, the best tomatoes are always right around September, October. They do better for us. So a little bit later doesn't hurt us too much. And then just kind of show you, this is the bed over here that we harvested all of the ranunculus from. And what I've got planted, you can't really see it too much, but if you look at right here, these are Max Pax cucumbers. So they're going to be late season cucumbers. So we've been doing some pickles in September. And then I also just interplanted some, this is a variety of sweet corn that doesn't get very tall. It gets maybe 5 foot tall. So in between, I got some sweet corn that's going to come up. So it'll be above the height of the cucumber plants, and it should get us a nice, just a few ears of corn, nothing to store, but just something to eat. And Max Pax cucumbers over here. So I got 4 hills of Max Pax. And then up here, I've got where these stakes are. These are all cantaloupe plants that are starting to germinate. These were saved from our own seeds. This is 2nd generation. And they're going to be late season. Obviously, we're going to be looking at harvesting, melons off these guys probably like in late September, which still works out okay in the tunnel. It does okay. And it's the same thing here. We've got cantaloupes, and then we've got a couple of hills of watermelon. The watermelon's going to be a long shot. And so I don't know. That one I really goofed up on. I should have been able to get that stuff in earlier. But the cantaloupes I know will produce. They're pretty fast. The watermelons, unfortunately, it's going to be kind of iffy. So let's go over and take a look at putting our microorganism solution together for treatment, and we'll see how things are going on in that tunnel. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're making a batch of JMS. We got a little bit of silt in the bottom of this thing, but it's not that big of a deal. Here's the basics of it. We've got our potato mixture. which is 15 grams of salt, 1 gram per liter, because 4 gallons is approximately 15 liters. We're using our paint straining mesh bag. We weight it down with the 3 rocks in the bottom. We put in a handful of leaf mold soil, which is good stuff. And then what we're going to be doing is using this stake with a little bit of, you can see the loop. We're going to tie basically and drop the sack into the water liquid after we put in this is blended with like a hand mixer, or you can use a blender, whatever it is, but it's 100 grams of potato. And I tend to use red potatoes, or just I tend to stay away from the russets. Simply, I seem to get a better result with the softer flesh potatoes. I think it's because it kind of mixes up better. And once we put in the mixture, we'll just kind of gently massage the bag a little bit, and then we'll just suspend it from the fence rod. And then you can see the black top cover that I'll just put over the top to keep too many big things from getting in there. And it's just going to stay right here in next to the mum row. And it's going to ferment. Like I said, it'll take probably somewhere between 40 and 48 hours. And then it'll be applied using our Maze injector. And we'll apply it to the mums, as well as we now have straw flowers that we planted in here last week that are adapting quite well. They're looking very good. And we still have the dahlias that we haven't yanked out yet. So these 2 rows, both this row and this row, will get a JMS application, as well as a liquid fertilizer, which is called JADAM liquid fertilizer, which is the grass and the grass-based liquid ferment that we've been using for the last, basically for the last month and a half. So we'll just kind of keep that up. This bed over here, I got to start getting ready. I want to put some celosia in it, as well as some sunflowers, some small sunflowers, not the super tall guys. And that'll just be kind of for some late season fall type stuff. Our new transplants of mums are doing okay. They're getting stronger. I noticed that I've got some buds that I need to pinch out. It's too soon for this. I don't know why they're trying to put out some buds at this stage. It seems a little crazy. And because it'd be way too early to bloom. And I need more growth out of them. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with that. So let's just get it mixed up, and I'll show you what the final thing looks like. And then we'll kind of wrap things up. Okay, what you can kind of see in here is the bag is hanging off of the short piece of fence rod. I put some drip tape on the fence rod to kind of keep it from rolling off the top of the bucket, and that kind of keeps the bag centered in the bag. And what you can kind of see from this is the rocks in the bag keep the bag suspended in the solution, so it's not floating up. There may be some stuff in the bag, it's stuff that wants to try to float up, but as it gets waterlogged, it'll start to sink towards the bottom of the bag. And that is basically all there is to it, other than the last thing we're going to do is put our top on. And what I do for that is I just try to get it, and I just kind of clip it onto the back end. And then what you're looking at is a basically the setup. It's an anaerobic ferment. It'll take at the temperatures that we have, ambient temperatures, a couple of days to get ready. I'll put some pictures in to show you kind of what it looks like. And that's it. You just kind of leave it undisturbed. You can gently take the black top off. I do it maybe once a day just to check to make sure there isn't something going wrong. But you don't disturb it. You don't need to do anything. So that's this week. Thrilling, isn't it, folks? This time of year for us, it's somewhat of its, I guess, maintenance. you know, just trying to take care of things. The mums are coming along, and I think we'll still get some dahlia blooms out of things before, you know, I have to yank the plants, but some of the plants just clearly are not growing. So the smallest ones I'm probably going to be taking out because they're never going to bloom. But then I've got some of the plants that do have virus, but it's not so much that it's totally debilitated the plant. It's just kind of stunted it. And so I'm still getting some blooms off of those guys. But yeah, that was a big disappointment. But anyway, what are you going to do? So I want to thank you all from, you know, our perspective. It's been nice that you guys have been watching our videos. I know that lots of times it kind of seems like, you know, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to you know, stay focused on things because there's so many opportunities to look at so many different things. So I wanted to say that we do appreciate, you know, the folks that do VR videos, and hope you stay safe out there. And as always, you know, enjoy life, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.